Hey guys, today we're going to judge some pigs from which ones need more protein and which ones need less protein. We're going to judge them on which ones need to fill in with some fat feeds and which ones need to lose some and have more of a protein feed. All right guys, let's get into it. Look at a pig that's, green, which means immature. She has a lot to grow into. I mean, a lot of these pigs have a lot to grow into, but this one in particular, she needs a lot of spring of rib, which is going to expand her belly. She needs fibers that will drop her belly, such as Death Charge is a great fiber that we use. She's got a lot of muscle up top, and she's got a lot of muscle in back. So also a good fat diet we could put her on would be a lot of milks and sumo, which would expand this back and expand the front, ultimately eliminating the tube-looking figure that she gives off. And if you look at this pig, you can obviously see how she's tubed in the middle. But putting in those fats will definitely widen the top. And if we use a lot of fibers, it'll drop her belly. And spring of rib will ultimately expand her belly, making this pig a great looking pig and definitely catch an eye in the ring. Hey guys, we're going to look at a pig that has a lot of different characteristics than the pig we just looked at. We're going to show you what things other than the other pig actually differential. So when we talked about spring of rib, we talked about the expansion of this belly. It's nice, it's big, it's balanced, it looks good. That depth of body is that bottom belly dropping down. It looks really good. This pig is definitely a well-balanced pig. He's much softer than that green pig we just looked at. He's less green, he looks fresh, and he's definitely well-balanced. Since this is a barrow, we're gonna have to watch feeds and make sure we're feeding a great amount of, protein and fat. But since he is a barrow, he gets higher on fat diets and he'll become a lot fattier. So that's why we want to drop feeds. Maybe if we're feeding him milk supplements or sumo, we definitely want to eliminate those feeds if he's getting too high on a fat diet. And we're going to also look at how this pig also has a lot of protein in him. He's got a lot of muscle front and back. It's just a well-balanced pig, and this is the kind of pig you can look at to definitely differentiate yourself from the other pig that we had just looked at.
So now we're going to look at some feeds that we're going to use to make sure our hogs are ready for the ring and ready to catch some eyes in the show ring at our fair. First off, we're going to start with Show Right 17.5. This feed is given to hogs that are pretty dang well balanced. They got a nice balance of protein. They got a nice balance of fat. They got great spring of rib. They got great depth to body. They're really well balanced, flat back. We got big, broad shoulders. Their stance is wide. This feed is usually given in almost all feeds, and a lot of ranchers use it when growing an animal so that they have a pretty well balanced maturity level when they become fresh and ready to go into the ring. When we use Champion Drive is a protein supplement. When we use Champion Drive, we use it for something like the second pig we looked at. He had some nice structure to him. He had a lot of protein, but we could always build on that and, make sure it's always a good amount to where we're not overfeeding him, but we're giving just enough to where he keeps that well balanced and it keeps up with his fatty diet. As we talked before, barrows have a lot of muscular descriptive outline to them, but they also are more fatty and they tend to become more fatty. So we want to keep up with that fatness by giving him more protein and lowering the fat diet. Depth Charge we would use as a fiber. You could buy Depth Charge and Champion Drive and even Show Right at probably any feed store. Depth Charge you would use as when we talk about depth of body and spring of bone, or spring of rib, sorry, we use that to, give that animal a wider and bigger belly, to drop that belly to make it more of a well balance. As we saw in the first pig, it was a tubed pig. His middle was a tube. He had broad shoulders and pretty big back legs, but when we want to eliminate that tube looking shape, we're definitely going to need a fiber like Deft Charge, drop that belly and make it more wider. Then we got milk powder supplements. That first pig, lacked in a lot of fat to make that back and top a lot more wider. There's a lot of milk powder supplements you could use, like fat-filled milk powder. You got Sumo, you got lamb milk. All of these powders will eventually do the job when you're feeding along with 17.5 and Deft Charge or Champion Drive. They all do their job as long as you're using it in the correct manner. When you're feeding these hogs, you need to make sure there's a well-balanced amount of each feed, or you're going to get a bad, outcome of the hog. When you look at your hogs, as we did before, you should kind of develop an idea of what feeds need to go into the hog's diet and make sure that those feeds are what that hog needs. Our ultimate goal is to turn a pig like this that needs, kind of both. It kind of needs protein. It needs to drop the belly a little bit more. It needs to widen the belly. It needs to, it has kind of good protein. You could definitely see some definition in the front shoulders. But we'd end up wanting to turn that pig into something like this. That is a stud pig. It's got a great hind back. It's got really defined shoulders, a great stomach. It's got... Spring of rib is definitely showing this on how wide that stomach is, and depth of body is showing how low that stomach is. That belly is great. This pig in all is just very well balanced. We all get kind of nervous stepping into the ring, and I know I do. But when we feed the right feeds to our hogs and we see the outcome, we all have a source of pride. If we can all do this and all feed our pigs the right diets that are meant for their bodies, we can become successful in the ring and successful in the pride of showing animals. Everybody wants a buckle like this, that, and even ribbons you can hang up on your wall. Doing these steps and knowing what feeds to feed your pig can ultimately get you to this goal. Thanks for watching, guys. If any more tips, just contact me. I hope this video actually helps you guys, because I've had a lot of help, and this is the knowledge that everyone needs to have a successful pig that will eventually become successful itself. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.